Hello everybody and welcome to Pinchy's Fish. So today I will be showing you how I clean my 10-gallon aquarium. So my aquarium is overstocked when it comes to fish. I believe it's about 120%, which means I have to change about 40 to 50% of my water each week. And that's what I'm going to be doing today. I usually do closer to about 50%. So I like to get a half-inch hose that I hot glue to a quarter-inch hose to clean out the water. Reason I did that is just it helps get the water out faster and helps me collect more dirt. Well, not dirt, poop and other debris off the sand faster. While I do this, I like to keep my filter running just to kind of help filter out any debris that I might have missed and might have went up into the water, which I then take out and clean the filter out anyways. So my filter has two sections to it, and it came with the two regular sponges. I also added a kitchen sink sponge to each part of it. I cut it to the right shape, cut out the holes in it. Reason I did that is because I originally had uh, dirt under the sand originally, so I needed something that would help clear out as much of that dirt out of the water as it possibly could while cleaning. But now I got rid of dirt and just stuck with sand alone. But I still keep it just because it helps keep everything a bit cleaner. Whenever I do clean out, I take out all four sponges, and before I wash them out, I like to squeeze them back into the aquarium just so that any bacteria that was growing in it, the good kind, can stay in the water. Yes, it makes it a little more dirty when I do it, but it eventually settles and it's much cleaner afterwards. And after I squeeze it out, I'll go back and wash it properly under the sink and make sure they're nice and clean. I'll clean the filter itself so that there's less dirt in it, and then I'll put it all back together. As you can see, I also have a diverter on it that I built myself. The reason I did that is because this filter can clean from anywhere from a 10-gallon to a 50-gallon aquarium, and even when it's at a 10-gallon aquarium setting, the lowest, the water flow is just too much for the fish and for the sand. So I put a diverter on it that I built, and I just put it at its highest setting at 50 gallons so that it doesn't destroy the filter by having too much back pressure when it's at a low setting. And the reason I have to clean the diverter is because it builds up with dirt and algae that my pleco can't get to, nor can my crawfish. And so it just kind of helps keep things cleaner and looks a little nicer. I like to use Q-tips to clean out the inside of the filter because a bunch of gunk builds up where the setting is controlled on the inside, where it opens and closes. And I don't like that. So I like to clean everything with a Q-tip if I can before putting it back together and then putting it back into the aquarium. Now today took a little longer to clean my aquarium just because I took out all the decorations and all the plants just to get a deeper clean. Plus, I had to take care of an issue that my butthole of a pleco PT Barnum causes. So what he likes to do is in the very back of my aquarium, I built in a bubbler slash light that I put through the whole aquarium, and I even hot glued some covers onto it so that sand doesn't get into the bubbler and clog it like it usually does. And what my Placo likes to do is dig himself a nice cave underneath the light and bubbler, and he has to get rid of the sand somewhere, so he piles it all up and ends up pushing it over the guards and onto the bubbler, which clogs the holes. And as you saw in the beginning of the video, only pretty much keeps like 1 to 2 of the bubbles actually going. So I ended up having to dig out some of the sand and push it forward towards everything else, which he didn't really like because I was bothering him. But I did that, and then I took a needle and I pretty much started taking out the sand out of the holes in the bubbler and actually pushing it through to create new little holes in the little tube that goes through the bubbler to get the bubbles going again through the whole thing, or at least most of it. And that took a while. I usually like to use a flashlight on my phone to do that, but today my flashlight died, so it took a little while longer than expected. Plus, there was a lot more poop underneath the lighting bubbler than I thought there was. And so when I moved all the plants and decorations, all the poop that I haven't seen before pretty much all came up, and it took a little longer to do that. And while I was doing that, I put the filter back in to kind of help clean the water up a bit so it'd be easier for my fish to quote unquote breathe. I like to turn the fish tank sideways when I'm trying to clean out the bubbler, so that way I can actually see what I'm working with instead of just kind of guessing. I mean, even though I still was kind of guessing, trying to find those little holes, but I still got around to doing it properly. And as you could probably tell in the video, my plants seemed pretty dead, and I think that's because I haven't been putting any fertilizer in, and I recently found out they need more CO2 than I guess they were getting. So I'll be making another video of me actually adding the CO2 liquid CO2 booster to it, and then we'll see how things change over the weeks. So I've been doing this for about 8 months now. I've been having a lot of issues just because this is a new hobby, and unfortunately I didn't do the proper research. I've killed a lot of tetras and that I used to have. I no longer have them just because they're not hardy enough for my level of ignorance. And 2 of my Cooley loaches that I used to have ended up killing themselves. Literally, they jumped out of the cups because I did it every 4 months. I changed the decorations in my tank, and last time when I was doing that, I left the cups that the Cooley loaches were in and all the other fish were in. I didn't close them, and so 2 of my Cooley loaches on 2 separate occasions jumped out of those cups and committed suicide during the night. So in overall, I've killed 15 fish, unfortunately. Most of them were pretty much tetras and then 2 Cooley loaches. So now I'm gonna just only keep more hardy fish, which I've read online that tetras aren't hardy, but then I've been told that tetras are, so I'm not sure. But for me, they are not working. So for this aquarium, I will not be getting them anymore. But these fish that I have for now seem to be doing well. I have Boris, the male half moon beta fish. Then as I mentioned, my bristlenose pleco, who is also male, I called him PT Barnum. I also have one coolie loach who I named Lockley. He had some scratches on his skin from last time I was doing a water change. He actually got sucked up through the tube and into the bucket, which is what scratched him up. And then I have Alejandro, the orange dwarf Mexican crawfish. I got him to kind of help keep things cleaner at least. And the interesting thing was, on the first day I got him, he actually molted. I thought he was dying at first because that was the day I was doing a water change as well. And I see him in the cup and like he's barely moving. And I'm like, oh no, I killed him already. But then he was twitching, so I'm like, I'll put him in the tank and we'll see what happens, right? Maybe he'll survive. And then like a minute or two passes and he just seems to get bigger, which was weird if he's dying. But then he actually got out of his molt, out of his skin, and that was awesome for me. I did not expect that to happen. And I looked online what to do with the molt, and it said to leave the molt in there and that he'll eat it within a day. And they eat him because it gives them nutrients and vitamins. So I left it, and he ate almost all of it within a day. And I just decided to leave whatever he didn't eat in there because I figured he'd eat it eventually. I feed my beta fish every morning. Don't really feed the other fish just because Lockley, when I first got him, turns out I was overfeeding him in the tetras because he started getting super fat. And so now I feed him with regular food about twice a week with Tetra Flakes. Yeah, and he seems to be doing fine, healthy. I check on my pH about every other day. I'm going to be checking it later towards the end of the video. So yeah, I will be redoing the decorations in my fish tank again in December. And I'll be posting a video of me doing that as well. I'm really excited for this new decoration, how to do it, because I built some decorations, have some bought as well, but I built a little cave, and we'll just see how things go. I also have some sunblock film on my fish tank, just on the front face of it. Didn't work out very well the first time I did it, so I'm going to be trying again. And if it works better the second time, I'm also going to be doing it on the sides. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm hoping my pleco will want to come out of my fish tank. Well, not out of the fish tank, out from under the light and bubbler more and kind of explore more. I know they're primarily nocturnal, but I'm hoping that if I could get it dark enough, even with the light on, he'll be a bit more exploratory. So once I took the water out, dumped it, I get some cold water and I pour it back in. And usually I end up sucking some sand out of it as well while I'm cleaning. So what I'll do is I'll get one of my cups of water and pretty much throw it into my bucket so that it forces all any sand that I sucked out back in to the aquarium. And then I pretty much just make sure my temperature's all right. I keep my heater going the whole time and make sure that, and then install the filter again and get it up and running. And then I put my custom built lid on so that my coolie loach doesn't jump out. I'm going to be painting the lid sometime this upcoming week. But yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. I like to add some medicine into the water and some water clearing liquid just to help my fish be a little less stressed during this whole opportunity so they don't get sick, they don't get the ick, and to help the water clear up a little faster. And that's pretty much it, how I do it. So thank you for joining me. And that'll be all for tonight.